The decline of American empire began long before the current economic meltdown or the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq. It began before the first Gulf War or Ronald Reagan. It began when we shifted, in the words of the Harvard historian Charles Mayer, from an empire of production to an empire of consumption. We have a right in the cult of the self to get whatever we desire. We can do anything, even belittle and destroy those around us, including our friends, to make money, to be happy, and to become famous. Once fame and wealth are achieved, they become their own justification, their own morality. How one gets there is irrelevant, because in America, most human beings, rich and poor, famous and obscure, have been conditioned to view themselves as marketable commodities. They are objects, like consumer products. They have no intrinsic value. They must look fabulous and live on fabulous sets. They must remain young. They must achieve notoriety and money, or the illusion of it, to be a success. And it does not matter how they get there. When you spend your life as a celebrity, you have no idea who you are.
Here's exactly how to get rich fairly quickly.
Today we are talking about personal branding.
And yet we measure our lives by these celebrities. We seek to be like them. We emulate their look and behavior. We too long to attract admiring audiences for our grand, ongoing life movie. It is the celebration of image over substance. We have a right in the cult of the self to get whatever we desire.
Highest level of man that she could be with, because until you do that, then there's not really a conversation. I'll just keep rolling through them and all the other guys like me. That's your problem to handle, my friend.
Our impulses are being redirected. We are living in an artificially induced state of consciousness that resembles sleep.
300,000, like, I guess if they made less than that, I feel like we wouldn't have the lifestyle I wanted, so I would work.
Underneath the guise of consumerism is unadulterated hedonism. I mean, it's infected everything, including spirituality, which in its real form has nothing to do with us. It has to do with our neighbor.
The cult of the self dominates our culture. This cult has within it the classic traits of psychopaths: superficial charm, grandiosity and self-importance, a need for constant stimulation, a penchant for lying, deception, and manipulation, and the incapacity for remorse or guilt.
I've taught you much, my little droogies. Now tell me what you had in mind, Georgie boy.
Don't you love how the stylists, they so clearly are able to reflect the character of each district?
Okay, so tell me all about this. What was your inspiration for tonight? Wow. Wow.
Don't shoot! Let him burn!
Wow. Wow. So what are you excited to see in there today? Wow. Is it your first Met? Wow.
It's a funny world we live in. We have 2 power plant workers, right?
Don't shoot! Let him burn!
And Decadence.
most people have no concept of how fragile their environment is. I think you have to, as I have done, live in societies that collapse to realize how quickly they go down and how fragile they are. The cult of the self is, in biblical terms, a form of idolatry. Everything is about you. Whether it's the worship of power or money, it all goes back to the self. It all goes back to creating little monuments to yourself. We have replicated the patterns that past civilizations in collapse underwent. An elite that is no longer connected with the real, that retreats into their bubbles like the Forbidden City or Versailles, and yet has total economic and political power. The crumbling of infrastructure, civilizations always decay, their cities go first, we've already done that.
I would argue that these are the values of corporations as well. And it's now just writ large within the society. And I think social media has exacerbated it. Social media is not about communication. It's not about truth. It's not about building friendships. It's not about building community. It is really a form of self-presentation. These are the values of corporations. These are the values of corporations. These are the values of corporations. Corporations. Corporations.
Debt. 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 Decadence. Debt. 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 Decadence. Debt. 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 Decadence. Debt. 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 Decadence.
Don't shoot! Let him burn!
Debt. And decadence. Debt. And decadence.
Wonka, how much do you want for the golden goose?
They're not for sale.
Name your price.
She can't have one.
Who says I can't?
I want your blood. I want your soul.
Don't any of you have the guts to pay for blood? Pay for blood? Pay for blood? Blood?
I'm your huckleberry. That's just my game.
For far too long, the wrong roads have been taken. The wrong roads have led us into war, into poverty, and inflation.